Alright, live twin Fiendsmith games. This is going to be game number 1. Our hand kind of sucks, but also isn't that bad. We're going first up against Blue Eyes, Dracotail, Primite, I guess. It's all of them, and we're going first. So we're going to normal summon Lilla, see how that goes. We don't get hit with anything, so we go Frost into Deal. Deal can go into Requiem. Requiem can summon Lacrima. Lacrima can bin Paradise because we already have Engraver in hand. So then we can just do our pretty standard combo. Our end board's going to be a little bit weird here because we have 2 bricks in hand, not garnets, and you'll see that we do manage to make use of them. We just would rather not have them in hand. And I do end with Desiree on this board instead of the Evil Twins Trouble Sunny. Ends up working out pretty well here. Honestly, this game's a little bit of a shutout. It's mostly just to show you how crazy the deck is with like how many layered disruptions and how much it can stop and everything like that, in case you didn't watch the actual video of this one. So we bring back a Trouble Sunny, then we use it as material to fusion summon into Desiree. Desiree gets negates. We have Caesar. We pass with a Bawaku. Our back row is Abominable Chamber, which is 3 disruptions on its own, and then an extra Infinite Impermanence we just happen to have. So we're sitting pretty, and the opponent starts with Drill Beam. I don't mean to downplay it. They have a very good hand here. Drill Beam into Lucas. We imperm the Lucas because we don't know if they already have a Femena, so we don't want to commit a bigger disruption, and the imperm was extra anyways. And they end up not having the Femena, but they go into Mausoleum of White. We get to draw an extra card off of that, cool, and we decide to break Trouble Sunny to take care of the Mausoleum of White. They have the Maiden of White, but of course they put the True Light in the Imperm column. We've all been there. And then they happen to have a Rahu still, so we go ahead and Caesar the Rahu. That's our first use, and then they do Scoop there, and we still have about 700 more disruptions. And again, their hand was good. Board breaker, starter, starter, starter. I don't know what the other 2 in hand were, but that's a crazy solid hand. Oh no, one of them was Primite Dragon. But still, very, very solid hand on the opponent's part, but it doesn't even take half of our disruptions. We just kind of are crazy like that. So now let's get into some slightly less one-sided games. Alright, game 2 here is going first up against Sidra. This is not a matchup that I'm super comfortable with just in general. I've played Cyber Dragon a few times, and I'm never 100% sure where to hit them just because they have so many cards that act as extension. I guess similar to like something like Punk, where these are necessary pieces, but they can also act as extension if you have them. So I'm pretty sure I played this game poorly, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm still looking at it, trying to figure out where. I messed up the combo at some point during this game. Not like fatally, but we end up only having 2 of the 3 main end board pieces that we have. We don't have, what is it? Yeah, we don't get to a Bawaku this game. So I do mess up a little bit there, but we have, 7 of our 8 normal disruptions on board, so I can't complain too much. Though, maybe I should, because it's going to take every single one of them to stop this Cyber Dragon player. Again, I presume that that's mostly my inexperience with the matchup, because like, I hit the Chimera so they can't grab extra cards, but then it does something when it gets sent to the grave anyways. They go into Clockwork Knight. I know that's gonna have to be something I deal with, so I have to keep something in my back pocket for it, but they have all of these other starters and extenders and searchers. And so we do manage. I figured right here was it. We get rid of the Clockwork Knight, we clear their board, but they still manage to keep going. They saved a Naxter, which is just 2 materials in and of itself, but unfortunately for them, the last disruption we had access to gets rid of one of their materials. They keep the Sidra so they can use our SP Little Knight to go into Chimera Tech Mega Fleet, but that's not a starter or anything. It's just one card that is pretty big, but we have 6 cards in hand and tons of follow-up, so at this point, it is over. But god, it took every single disruption we had, so maybe I need to practice Sidra more. Alright, for our last game, we are going second up against Yummy. You know, I have to get some meta in here for you. And, of course, it is the most meta because they open Obedience Schooled, so, they kind of have everything. We have a Druid's Worm, we hit Cupsy, which means they have to take a little bit of a weird line, but that's the frustrating thing about Yummy in general, is just that they have everything every time. Every card is a starter, every card is an extender, so, like, whatever your hand is, just everything. Thankfully we have Droplet and some good targets for Droplet, but they do still have a couple of back row we have to be wary of. Thankfully they haven't hit us yet. I'm doing my best just to put as many materials on board as possible for the inevitable disruption. They have a Droplet as well. They use that to negate a couple of things. Doesn't end up stopping us because we had that extra material from earlier, so it was a good thing I put those on board. We have to take some weird lines. They save their field spell and then put it back down. Doesn't really matter when their board is already empty. We end up making a half board of Trouble Sunny and Sharvara. So I was at the time debating if I wanted to link these off into a sequence and then use sequence to fusion summon into something. I decided against it. I figured this was good enough, but I really should have, because that would have made Sharvara give us Abominable Chamber, which is 3 extra disruptions. So, like, in retrospect, I should have, but this is what we're working with here. So, I figured it was good enough because we managed to take care of the field spell, so that means that they only have 2 cards in hand to play with. One of them is an extender, but thankfully we can pop that. And then they only have 1 card left in hand, but unfortunately it is the perfect card. It is a card that gets them to full combo. Hey, yummy things. So we draw an extra card, we've got something of a board, but they're gonna put just like a huge board on field here. They banish Sharvara so we don't get Abominable Chamber. We banish Treat to take less damage, but thankfully they can't kill us, and we are a control deck and we've drawn an extra Droplet, so we negate everything again and we start all over again, this time with Recursion. So yeah, we actually didn't have Fiendsmith access, but we managed to get to Lacrima, get to Fiendsmith access, sequence, put some stuff back, Aerial Eater, bin Rhino, bin Buio, and this is where they scoop it up because they see, like, Yummy doesn't really have anything coming out of the graveyard, any disruptions that is. They have no hand left, we shoot through their entire hand. So even though they managed to put a board up, the second Droplet stopping the board that they had alongside us having just a 1-card starter does manage to take this one. So, you know, going first into Yummy, honestly, you can argue that Droplet carried here, but our deck makes very, very good use of Droplet because we got value off of it both times we used it. So, you know, a deck includes its non-engine, I suppose. Cool.